And we should be live. Hello, Internet.
What's going on, Internet? I'm stealing Scott Bromley's line.
There you go. Oh,
Or is that Brian Altano's? No, Brian Altano's is brah, brah.
Let me change the
Oh,
live
there's
stream
something I
here.
meant
It's
to
too
do for the patrons.
small.
Hello, Rob. I know you're listening. I know this is the first thing you listen to every week, Rob. I'm watching you.
I'm so sorry, Rob. How do I refresh?
No, so the reason I say that is because it'll get mentioned on the show, obviously, but thanks to Monkey Senior, I have a copy of Dragon Ball Z Kakarot.
Kakarot!
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which you may remember, I think it was the pre-show for Game Club. I literally said to you at the very start of that recording, Musum, Boston, please talk me out of buying a copy of Dragon Ball Z Kakarot.
And I managed to successfully
You talked me off the
stave
ledge.
you off for a little bit, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And literally, I got a text message from Rob the second I started playing the game in the big capitals, little capitals font type.
Yeah. Please stop me from buying this
Stop me
game.
from buying Kakarot.
Rob, you're not wrong.
Followed by, you're so weak.
Again, not wrong, but these were extenuating circumstances.
Hold on, I'll see if you can see this, Boston. I don't want to... Okay, his phone number's not on it anywhere, so... there it is.
There you go. So good.
Yep. Hey, Boston, you're buying Kakarot.
It's one of those, like, yes but no moments where it's like, yes, but actually no.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's just like, come on, dude. Why are you going to call me out like that as well?
Of course he's, like, watching you like a hawk, so it's, like, literal moments after you started. It's like, oh, I'm Moon, and I bought this game.
I hadn't even, like, got through the tutorial yet.
Yeah, like, the opening movie hadn't finished, and he's like, hey, Moon. Oh, man. All right, you ready to kick this thing off?
Sure, why not?
All right, let's get started in 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to another episode of That Video Game Podcast. I'm your host, Boston. Joining me as always is Moonpeer.
Hello.
We are a man down this week. The NIMP does not have internet service, which is kind of important for a show that uses the internet to talk to each other. So, he'll be taking a knee this week, getting a little bit of R&R, and come back and ready to talk about JRPGs next week. Patreon.com/E1Ammo, and the ones are numbers. We have a brand new episode of Old Dog New Flicks this Friday. Since it's a super long month, the last Friday ends on the last day of this month, so there's a brand new episode. If you're not a patron yet, $5 level, you get 3-month early access to Old Dog New Flicks. You get 2-week early access to We Rogue Like It. You get the uncensored outtakes of us talking about the Arrowverse shows every week.
Yes.
Now, I guess, just an Arrowverse show, which is just Outcast. But yeah, patreon.com/E1Ammo.
That, dude, that's a great name for an Arrowverse podcast. Outcast.
Oh, that's right. Man, all right. Well, I'm going to write that down. Yeah. Yes.
Timestamp it, data. This is copyright us.
That's right. TMR, the whole thing. All right. So, yes, patreon.com/E1Ammo. Come join us. Thank you for your support on the show for any current patrons. And I hope you sign up and help me pay for the show, because it is expensive. Okay, well, let's just dive into what you've been playing this past week, Moonpeer.
Oh, okay.
Gotta get limber, get loose.
Yeah, get limber, get loose to talk about the Talos principle, funnily enough.
There we go.
We did a Game Club episode on very recently, and
right.
It should be before this in your timeline.
What is being human? What does life mean? How soft is the cat?
It means the Genhama DLC.
Yes.
Literally, my first notes are, oh my word.
Oh no.
I'm just going to read my notes verbatim here for this one.
Okay.
These puzzles are insane.
Oh no.
Like, really insane. Cool story for the DLC too,
Okay.
but my word, these puzzles.
I remember reading a synopsis about Gehenna, and you're playing as one of the admins?
You are playing as Uriel, who is the
Okay.
stupid robot who is trying to stop you at the end of the Talos Principle.
Right.
And you are actually sent by Elohim to go and rescue robots that he exiled because they were questioning the system too much.
Gotcha.
So they've all been imprisoned separately from everybody else. And they're like talking in like a 90s BBS form. And it's like
Great.
text adventures and stuff like that. And it's like,
That's really good.
okay, sure. Why not? Whatever. But yeah, your job is to free these robots so they can escape before the system is destroyed. Because it's right after the good ending, where
Right,
the
like
storm is coming and it's wiping everything out.
Yeah.
Except the puzzles are insane.
You know, Crow Team announced a little while ago that they're working on a sequel to Talos Principle, and it's sort of like, number one, why? But number two, how are you going to significantly change that game, like the mechanics of that game? Like Portal 2, I think, was successful in being a sequel to Portal because they evolved that gameplay enough, but also didn't stick around too long. It wasn't like, all right, now Portal has a ton of story and that's 45 hours long and there's an open world, and it's like, no, it's just, here's another 5 to 8 hours and now you can bounce.
Yeah, especially based on how the Galaxy brains are probably operating after producing the Genhama DLC, because my word, like... So, a type of puzzle you would never run into in the main game is... It's hard to explain, honestly.
Yeah.
You know how when you put two lasers of different colors next to each other, they cut each other off and like it stops and it's just like
cancel each other out.
Yeah, it's like a fizzy symbol.
Yep.
Imagine deliberately doing that to stop one of the lasers from opening a door, and then doing it through walls so you can cut it off at this point to open this door, and then this point to open this door, and then at a different point to open a different door.
Why? Why must you punish us so?
And that's the easy one.
Woof.
It's legitimately some of the most insane DLC I've ever played. Like,
that's crazy.
I did 3 puzzles out of like 30. I'm done. I am done.
Your brain has been squeezed.
I literally don't understand what you're expecting me to do in this situation.
Right.
Like, it's crazy.
And that when I saw that there was DLC, that was sort of my concern. It's like, well, the end of Talos Principle, the difficulty's been ratcheted up pretty significantly as it is.
But it feels like a good solid flow upwards. Like, it's a very...
Nothing is impossible, but I feel like the puzzles that you're already dealing with in the DLC sounds like it's moved past the point of this is fun and challenging into why am I bothering to do this?
A little bit. I did it for the Sweet Shivos.
Sure.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Thank you, Talos Principle. Game complete. Tick.
Check.
I honestly, I think they're crazy. I think they, based on what I was listening to when I was following a video guide to solve these puzzles, because my word, they're insane.
Yeah.
One of the people was saying that he knew how to solve the puzzle just because he'd been playing a bunch of stuff on the Steam Workshop, which is where the real crazy people go to design their own puzzles.
Oh, I didn't know it had support for Workshop. Yikes.
So imagine your most crazy person that you know designing puzzles for this game.
And they hate you.
And the devs have, taken a little bit of that salt and then dipped it into the DLC. It's just like, really? Like, another puzzle, other than the cutoff puzzle, this is another one. Now, I don't know if this is the way to solve the puzzle, the guy explains in the video, but you have a red and a blue switch, and the beams can only get to them by crossing over one another.
Right.
So you get them to cross over, and then they meet in the middle, and then they do the little fizzy spark thing. The way you solve this puzzle to open that gate in front of you is you wiggle between the two beams really quickly.
Oh, no,
to
like
get
you use
them
your body to block?
Yep, and slowly fill each one. And then if you do it
Wow.
nice and quick, it will turn them on for about a second and a half, and then you book it through that door, and you get that puzzle piece, and they immediately shut behind you. It's just like,
It's one of those puzzles where you're like, I don't think I should be doing this, but there's no other solution, so I guess I'll
Yeah.
just wiggle.
yeah, it's. I don't even know how to explain the puzzles. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's. I mean, don't get me wrong. The main game is great. The DLC is included on the Game Pass version, so go play it if you want to.
I've got
Use
the
a guide.
physical deluxe edition on PS4, and that had it on the disc as well.
Mm-hmm.
Talos Principle is really great. Like, I don't want to... the Nimb was making fun of us for Isaac the other week, where it's like, this doesn't sound fun at all. And it's like, I promise, Talos Principle is really fun. Like,
Yes.
and it is a really great experience. It's just...
The ramp is good as well. Like the ramp of easy to difficult, like it's a very gradual and successful ramp to get you to the harder puzzles. It works really well. But the leap of logic from this to this is...
Yeah. And one of the things I really liked, and I talked about it in the Game Club episode, that I really liked about Talos Principle is there's no... When you get a new skill or item or something that you can use to solve puzzles, there's no tutorial level. Like, Talos Principle is so well designed that you go into an area and you just got, like, the refractor, for example. There's like 5 or 6 levels in this one section that all use that, and you can just do whichever ones you want. It's not like, oh, you didn't learn how to do X, Y, and Z, go back to this other one. It's just like, no, you got this new tool, here's a whole bunch of levels for you to figure out how to use this in 10 different ways, then you can take that knowledge into the next section.
Yeah, and usually they'll do a good job of like having one of the tools set up so you can see how it operates. Like usually if you go into the very first one that unlocks with that item, it'll be like, well, here's a box and here's something on top of it. You figure it out.
Yeah, and it's like, oh, I can stack okay, cool. I can stand on boxes. Cool, okay.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like this stupid level where you jimmy in across the top of the mines with the...
so stressful.
Still so good.
Yeah. Talos Principle is really great.
Yes, it is. You should go play it.
Yeah.
That DLC is insane. If you genuinely want to challenge yourself,
yeah.
Like, I do not, like I said earlier, I don't have the galaxy brain thinking way of doing that kind of thing.
Or like the hour and a half to sit here like looking at the puzzle and trying to move stuff and trying to figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Did you just get that text message from Nimp as well?
I did. Like.
So good news, Nimp. We got your message. It was a
little
delayed.
Yeah.
Always good.
Yeah.
But yeah, Talos Principle is great. Go play it. Go listen to the Game Club episode. It's fun. Okay. Thimbleweed Park.
Okay.
The great clean out of 2020 continues.
Yep.
Thimbleweed Park continues. I don't like this game.
Yeah.
Did you ever finish this game? Did you even play this game?
No, I didn't play it because honestly, when it was announced, it was one of those things where it's like, great, I think it was a Kickstarter game, right?
It was.
It's one of those things where it's like, this is what Kickstarter is for. You get a small number of passionate people about a subgenre that's
Who
not
put the money
really
where their mouth is.
Yeah, and like, it's not a genre or even a subgenre that's popular anymore, but there's a vocal number of people that really love it, and they're going to put their money where their mouth is, and that's perfect.
It's the like the funding embodiment of Fry waving his wad of money, saying, "Take all of my money."
Right, and it's like that's why I backed something like Amplitude, where it's like I've always wanted another one of those. Here is $150 because I'm going to put my money where my mouth is. And I really appreciate that they were given that opportunity, but even looking at it, like when the trailer came out, it's sort of like, I did that in the 90s. I'm not sure if I want to go back.
You don't. because it's about 6 times longer than it needs to be.
Oh boy.
It goes and goes, and then it has an ending. And then it comes back, and the ending isn't over.
And
it has
another
an ending
encore.
after like chapter 3, and there is 9 chapters in total. And it starts kind of obfuscated with the whole interactions thing. Like, if you've watched any procedural CSI stuff, then you know that you can get a fingerprint with sellotape, so you get the sellotape,
Right.
and so on and so forth. Where you get the sellotape from is a completely different ballgame. You have to know to go to the post office to get the sellotape from the counter, but you can only take it because you're a federal agent, because you have to flash your badge to the guy behind the post office to get this tape.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, then you use that tape on stuff to get fingerprints from, but it doesn't have any dust, so you need to get charcoal or coal dust from a fireplace to use as the fingerprint dust to then put the sellotape on. That's the beginning of the game.
Right.
And it just gets worse from there.
Oh, boy.
And then they end the game. I'm going to spoil Thimbleweed Park right now, folks. If you don't want to know about the ending of Thimbleweed Park, hit that 15-second forwards button twice, round about now. So, 30 seconds to talk about the end of Thimbleweed Park. Here we go. They know they're in a video game. Oh. They jump the shark.
Heaven help us. I never know how to feel about that stuff where it's like,
if it's done well,
yeah,
great. Let me tell you
Assassin's Creed
about
1.
Let me tell you about the most innovative shooter experience I've ever had.
It's the most innovative shooter I've played in years. Or like Assassin's Creed 1, Assassin's Creed 2, where it's like the characters talking to you in the game. It's like,
yeah,
that's cool.
And then they go further than that and they talk to you, the player, as the... It's just like, okay, cool, you're going crazy, I dig it. But the whole game is not based around that. And then they have a puzzle which you need to solve by watching the Kickstarter video.
Oh, that's surprising. Interesting.
Yeah.
I'm glad you gave it a shot, though. Like, I'm glad you tried it.
And I've tried with these type of games before, and I've always said it didn't quite tickle with my fancy that much, or it didn't quite stick with me that well. This pretty much confirms it, considering this is by the legends of the titans of the industry.
Yeah.
Maybe
the dream team.
Yeah, maybe if this was the 1990s and I was, being exposed to this for the first time, it would be fine.
Yeah.
But it's not the 1990s, it's the 2020s now.
Right.
Games have evolved. Let me point you towards the Walking Dead series, one of my favorite game series of all time.
Well, and like the new face of adventure games, like Oxenfree, like Life is Strange,
After Party, whatever the taxi game is, the
NeoCab.
Yes.
Yeah. Valhalla, like 2064 we played on Game Club last year. Like, these are really the new 2064. I think is much more interesting because it's a direct successor to the stuff like Maniac Mansion and the stuff that Thimbleweed Park is directly influenced by, but it takes that a step further and it makes it way more friendly and it makes it way more appealing.
Yeah, that's a great example of a modern version. I loved 2064. I genuinely enjoyed everything I played in that game.
Except for that like shooting part at the end. That was not good.
Some minor frustrations aside, that game was, genuinely speaking, pretty solid.
Yep.
I don't like the clown who swears.
Does anyone?
Honestly, it feels like he's in there because that's what was funny in the 90s.
Sure.
Imagine this clown who doesn't actually entertain people, he just insults people, and he insults them by swearing, so every other word out of his mouth is beeped.
Yeah. Like, I get it, it's just not...
Imagine listening to our Patreon-exclusive pre-show talks, where we have to beep the cursing. Like, it's just a long string of beeps.
Yeah.
It's like he's trying to speak in Morse code, but he's not.
Right. That's the real final puzzle, is the Morse code the swearing clown has been using.
I don't know. I mean, it kind of sums up how I feel about Thimbleweed Park. Anyway, moving on. Thimbleweed Park, by the way, game fail for me.
Yes, Game Pass fail.
Yes, it's a Game Pass file, and literally, I hate this note, but I had to write it. For superfans of the genre, maybe Game Pass,
Right.
because I just had to go full on tropish for it.
Yeah, you got to go with the X-Play. We give it a 3 out of 5.
For me, it's a Game Pass file.
Yeah.
It's just a file. No.
Yep.
And
Not for you.
I'll probably be avoiding point-and-click adventures for some time. Thank you, Thimbleweed Park, for teaching me my lesson.
But you gave it the old college try, and you tried a new genre, and you found out it's not for you.
I didn't try a new genre, dude. I tried an old genre. I had two old genre.
The reanimated corpse of point-and-click adventure games.
Yeah. Ugh. But yes. Thimbleweed Park, whatever. This is The Police 2. This is our current Game Club game. I'm only mentioning this in passing so both me and Boston can mention it. Go and play this game right now.
Cross that off my list because I was going to talk about it. Yeah, I just failed my first run through. Moon and I were...
I love the images you're posting on Twitter, by the way, of the cars on fire.
When you fail one of those XCOM missions, like, apparently it is just the end of the world. I made a choice in my playthrough that I thought in this series history, like it likes to do. I made a choice that seemed I needed the money. I needed the money, and I made a choice that seemed very small that would get me a little bit of money. And the ripple effects were disastrous. And in one text pop-up that came up on screen with a couple of lines, that the game was failed at that point. It just, I needed to let the whole thing play through, and it went really bad.
Yep.
Yeah. There's a Police 2 so far. Very, very interesting. I think you and I were really surprised when they announced it, where it's like, oh, you're gonna do another
Number
one.
one, you're making a sequel.
Right, and like...
Number two, you're putting turn-based strategy
you
elements
put XCOM in there? Like, that's... And that's stuff,
a little strange.
The strategy, the, like, XCOM style stuff works pretty well. And so far, it's good. I'm on my second playthrough now, which is very much like, all right, now I know what I did. I need to make some different choices here. And it, the sort of famous choice from the first game, the very first choice you have to make is like, hey, this group, they're gonna boycott you unless you fire all your black officers. Do you want to do that? It's like, no. Why would I do that? And game's like, okay, man, there are going to be consequences to your choices. No good choices here, and boy, does The Police 2 continue that, where it's like, I have a question for you that seemed small, and you know the reality of how big it's going to be. What are you going to do?
It's the old bad choice simulator.
Yep.
Like, very much like The Walking Dead, where it's just like, I hope people get this reference, but maybe not. Either way is risky.
Right.
Is like, it's the quintessential decision-making tree for This Is the Police. And This Is the Police 2. It's like, choose what you want. It ain't gonna go well either way.
Yeah. I do have to say, though, the one thing that they have significantly changed from the first one, if you played the first one along with us and you had some difficulties with it, one of my biggest problems with the first one was every time you send out a bunch of officers for a call, it was always this dice roll. It's like, is the officer going to make it back? Is the offender going to die?
Are they going to shoot them? Are
they going to crash? But
yeah.
Thankfully, this Jimbo Jangles in chat says the police will remember that. That's right. They never forget. One of the most interesting things about this game is you send out your officers like before. You have a minimum skill level that you need to send out. But now, when you go and send the people out, there are a number of 3 choices every time where it's like, oh, this dude's on top of a car with a gun. What are you going to do? X, Y, or Z. And then you get to choose one of those choices and then apply one of your officer's skills to that choice. So, like, if somebody's carrying a taser, you can then unlock the taser option, zap them, everybody's fine, he gets arrested,
But
nobody comes home.
if you do that, you've got to try and make sure that the person with the taser has got a good shooting skill level.
Right.
Because I have seen them miss those taser shots.
Yeah. And I think that's a really smart way of handling it, instead of saying, well, here's just the dice roll, hopefully you don't lose an officer that's really good. It's like, no, I'm going to send that person out on a difficult call, have them use their negotiation skills that are totally leveled up, talk everybody down from the situation, and then everybody comes back successful. It's like, I like that there's a loop in the game where your investment into your officers is paying off on calls, as opposed to, no, you have to stay here because you have like 800 points and you don't get to go anywhere.
Yeah. I'm liking the investigations as well. Just as a pro tip, there is a maximum of 5 clues, just so you know, so you're not wasting days looking for more clues when you've got 5. The maximum number, like at the top of the investigation screen, it gives you clues, like pieces of paper.
Yeah, the little piece of paper, yeah.
There is 5. When you assign police officers to that to do the investigation, it's based on intelligence, and you can change the role they do.
I didn't know what you were talking about, because every time an investigation comes up, I just Google it. Because that's like the part of the game I don't really enjoy, which is like, okay, which one, who's lying in this, and how do I have all the clues, and do I have the,
I love that stuff.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Don't waste days looking for clues. There's 5.
Good tip. So far I'm in, to no one's surprise, I'm enjoying This Is the Police 2. I have a lot of stuff. I have like over a page of things to talk about in our Game Club episode, which is, the months are super long, so we'll, talk about it in probably 18 weeks or so.
Yep.
But yeah, if you haven't tried it, I would say if you're not going to play along with us, they reference the story of the first game a lot. So
almost immediately as well.
Yeah, so if you want to get the full story, it's probably not a bad idea to at least try a couple of playthroughs of the first one, especially since it's so cheap. And then kind of carry. Only thing I kind of wish I could have carried like my save file to the second one, where it's like, here's all the choices you made in one of your playthroughs. Which one do you want to bring forward?
I'm just glad we got a sequel.
Yeah, I mean, and it seems like there's a way bigger budget and like a way bigger team on this one. And I'm very happy to see this team doing really well.
Which, again, by the way, big shout out to my wife, who originally pointed me towards This Is the Police, and then I pointed it towards you, and then
I would have missed out on
the whole thing has rolled from there. Like, I started playing in front of her right as she was about to go to bed. She was like, "You're really going to do this to me?
Right?
You really?
This fascinating game?"
Yes, and then immediately she was like, They upped it a lot, because like the animation's great, the graphics are the same style, but it looks better.
Yep.
The
ton of voice
looks
acting.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
John St. John.
John St. John is really good. Oh man. Yeah.
But yes, This Is the Police 2. Current Game Club game. Expect a very deep dive on that.
Yes.
Next month.
Yes.
Also, can you do me a favor? You got to read out what Musen said that made me and you giggle a little bit at the start of the show. Pre-show.
Musen just started playing it on, and he posted it on Discord. He says, "Just click start. No one told me this was a tactics style game. Okay, now I'm excited." I'm so sorry, Musen. You don't know what this game is going to do to you.
They're ready to be broken.
Yep.
Okay, next game. Game Pass game, Demon's Tilt.
I've been looking forward to playing this.
It's crazy.
A demonic pinball game?
Yep.
Yeah.
So let's talk about, first and foremost, there is no table guide. If you're making a pinball game in 2020, if you're making a pinball game in 2015, you need a table guide so that people have the option of looking at the different modes and the different ramps and stuff like that. Like, you go look at the
overview.
Yeah, like you go look at the Iron Man table for Pinball FX way back when on the 360, and it's like here is the mode selection. Here is how you start these modes. Here is what those modes are. If they're multi-ball modes, if they're
sweep
jackpot
across
modes.
up the table. This came out December 23rd, 2019.
Yeah.
Developed by Flarb.
Yep.
And Wizenwar.
Okay. Sure, why not? Yeah, well, okay, let's start. It's a multi-tier table, so it's got three zones, a middle, a top, and a bottom table. It's got different quote-unquote modes on each section of the table.
Okay.
Different bosses on each section of the table.
Interesting.
And it does this whole thing where it's very based on the name, obviously, Demon's Tilt.
Mm-hmm.
It's got like very religious and anti-religious things on it. Like the one in the middle is like they keep yammering on about, oh, you're doing well, sorcerer, and all this kind of stuff.
Yep.
Like the bottom boss is an imp, the top boss is like a harpy, and like there's a lion up there and stuff like that.
There's like a pentagram somewhere.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, it gives you rankings like A to triple S, or sorry, F to triple S rankings based on how your score on each ball is. And it's like, oh, like divine and all this kind of stuff. Right. If you get a C, it's called clerical.
Oh, that's really good.
It's a bad choice because anytime I hear the word clerical, I don't think of clergy.
Right.
I think of administration.
The DMV.
Yes.
Yeah. That's what D is for.
Literally, it just comes off and it's like clerical. And I'm like, okay. Sure.
I'm sorry for the paperwork. Oh, the other. Yes, clerics, druids. Gotcha.
They're sorry for completely different reasons.
Right.
Sorry, that was a dark joke, and I'm sorry in advance. In the past, whatever.
Demon Tales Advance is the sequel.
Yes.
Yeah.
It has three. It looks like it's one table. It has three modes: normal, EX, and super difficult. Mm-hmm. Super difficult is a one ball mode.
Ooh,
so you get one ball. Normal is just the three tables, and then if you go on the EX mode, there is subtables you can teleport to other tables and do these different modes and so on and so forth.
I kind of like the idea that I kind of like both sides of the coin, where it's like you take your Pinball Arcade, your Pinball FX, where it's like, here are tables that could exist or did exist in the real world, and we're gonna create or recreate those.
Mm.
And then I kind of like this thing where it's like, yeah, it's a table, but it's also like 15 feet long, and there's like 6 tables stacked on top of this one. You're like, I kind of dig that.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of cool. I mean, the most important thing, of course, when it comes to this kind of thing is how does it play?
Yeah. Does
it feel like pinball or not? And this feels okay.
Okay.
Like, it doesn't feel great. I think we can all agree Pinball Arcade is the most optimum feeling of pinball.
Yeah. It managed to capture the physics correctly.
Yeah. Pinball FX did it well. FX2 did it better, and I think FX3 does it better still.
Yeah, and I think some of the physics improvements they've made for their license tables, I think, have gone a really long way towards, even if it's not as exact as Pinball Arcade is. Pinball Arcade, I know there are some detractors, but I think Pinball FX have put in a lot of time and a lot of effort to get that much better feeling.
Yeah, and they're still supporting it. They're not doing the Pinball Arcade thing of like releasing one table on one platform and then taking 6 years to release it to a different one.
Yeah. Man, that company just could not get their stuff together, and it's such a bummer.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, it feels okay to play. Biggest downside for me didn't happen so much on normal. I think it's only happened really on the EX mode, which is the middle difficulty. There seems to be a whole bunch of FU ramps, or as the No Quarters cast commonly calls them, framps.
Right.
Because I just keep getting framped. Where it's like, oh, I'm going to come down this ramp and go straight in the middle between the flippers.
Yeah.
Great.
Thank you. Like, if it's not recreating a real life table, you don't have to do that. You don't need to take my quarters.
Mm-hmm.
Like there has to be some level of there should be some elements of failure that's always looming, but not like that.
Yeah, and honestly, it moves quick. It's got a couple of decent multi-balls. Like, it's a very pixel art table. Which
Looking at the art.
Strange.
Yeah.
Like, it's not, like, really pixelated. It's pixel art. Like, It looks really cool, like, style and stuff. Like, it's all very clear what's going on. My biggest issue with it right now is I literally don't know what I'm doing half the time. Like, I've figured out bits and pieces here and there as I'm going along. Like, now I know to start the rituals, which ramps I need to hit. Rituals being missions in the game to start, whatever.
Hit the castle a couple of times to bring the gate down. Yeah.
Exactly, that kind of stuff.
Out. Yeah.
But there's also, like, monsters that spawn.
Oh, interesting.
And they move around the table, and you've got to kill them by hitting them with your ball.
Mm-hmm.
And then it goes straight bullet hell.
Oh, no.
Where it starts firing purple lasers at you, which interfere with the path of the ball.
Like your ball bounces off the lasers?
Yes.
That's kind of cool. On paper, that's kind of cool.
It's really cool on paper, and it's pretty cool in execution, because there is one golden laser, and if you hit that, all of the rest of the lasers turn into money and go into your upgrade set for your multiplier.
That's pretty cool.
So it's like a skill shot, but a skill shot that messes with the ball as you're trying to hit it.
All right, maybe I have to start this sooner than later.
Open up that app, get that thing downloading.
Yeah, I think I already have it installed on this computer.
Probably the thing that makes me laugh the most for this, though, I hate to phrase it this way.
Okay.
It has Golden Axe music.
Okay.
And it's amazing how much it sounds like Golden Axe, but kind of like a WCW version of Golden Axe, where there's like one note off.
Right.
And it's like, this is the music for the start of the first stage in Golden Axe.
Right, everyone knows that soundtrack.
It just has that same tone, that same sound, that same beat, that rhythm to it. And it's just like...
Right. It's like, are you using the Genesis chip?
Is this Golden Axe? Because you sound like Golden Axe.
Did you license it? Yeah.
I don't even care if you play the game. Go listen to a video of it, Boston. Between this section and the next section of the show, please insert that sweet Golden Axe music here. Not the Golden Axe one, the Demon's Tilt one, please. Insert it right there for me, just because it's insane how much like it sounds like Golden Axe. But yeah, I'm actually enjoying it. I've put maybe 2-3 hours into the table so far, and it's just... The funny thing is, my wife just bought a whole bunch of new games, and literally, I'm shutting down a pinball game to open up a different game, and she's like, "You like pinball, right?" It's like, come on.
I do, yes. You know me.
Yeah. I like pinball.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's cool. Give it a shot.
It sounds cool.
My final game this week,
the
one everybody's talking about. I mean, literally everybody. Thank you, Monkey Senior, friend / co-host of the show. I like how you were trying to figure out what it was until I said that.
I was wondering if you had picked up, what was that game, Temtem, the Pokemon RPG, the Pokemon MMO.
No, I haven't.
I was wondering if you were I'm secretly playing. I'm 150 hours in a Temtem. That's all I'm doing. I was like, oh, okay.
No, I'm good, thanks. I don't need to play that or
is that
any.
The name? Yeah, Temtem. Okay.
It is. So yeah, it's Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. Of course, it's Dragon Ball Z
DBZ
Kakarot.
GTA.
Yep. 100% this is just an RPG, dude.
Yeah.
It's literally kind of like an action RPG where you get to fly around, smash the punch button a bunch of times, fire off a couple of Kamehamehas, destroy some robots, meet up with people from various iterations of Dragon Ball and, chat to them for a little bit, and then punch some more people. There is about 1 million systems in this game.
So another fine DBZ video game.
There was a lot of systems in here, dude. A lot of systems in here. Okay, so obviously you got the open world, you've got the different characters. Weirdly, for a game called Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, you don't cover the Snake Way journey at all. There is no going to Heck, there is no going to the Home for Infinite Losers, no meeting up with the two muscle boys with the blue and red skin.
Right.
Weirdly, at that point, you play Piccolo and Gohan.
Okay.
What's the name of the game again?
Kakarot.
It's not Dragon Ball Z Piccolo. It's not
Piccolo
Dragon Ball
learns
Z
how to drive.
Gohan. That hasn't happened yet.
Okay. Fingers crossed.
It's literally Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. Where is the Snake Way journey? Where is the Home for Infinite Losers?
I want to see the Halo.
Yeah.
Yep. Home
Like,
for
where are
Infinite
those things?
Losers. Oh my god, I forgot about that. It's like,
Did you
we're gonna
literally,
censor...
how many times did I say that until you clicked what that was?
I forgot that it's like, we need to censor the word hell on these shirts. I got it. Home for Infinite Losers. It's like, oh my god.
Delete the bottom line, you're fine. Problem solved.
It's so crazy.
Well, I mean, I don't know. Number one, I don't know why they're doing that. It's called Kakarot. Show me that stuff.
Right.
I get it. The company who owns the IP is super protective about that stuff.
But let me run across Snake Way, in real time, like I'm climbing up that ladder in MGS3.
Yeah, play a sick ass song while you're doing it.
That's right.
100%. Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Play every iteration of the Dragon Ball Z intro music as you're going along Snake Way.
That's right.
Every single one. Just slight tweaks every time you get to a next checkpoint where it just loops it. It's okay. So yeah, I've got that bit out the way. That's fine. I've just beat Vegeta.
Okay.
So to give anybody who's a fan of Dragon Ball Z knows where that means. Specifically, the first time you beat Vegeta, when you send him packing off and he's on his way to Planet Vegeta, and everyone's talking about going to Namek so they can bring everybody back to life. Why would anyone bring Yamcha back to life? I ask again.
I still don't know.
Yeah. Let me tell you, they nail the Yamcha hole. Like him lying in that hole, they nail it.
I did see a screenshot of that, and I was like, yeah, that's good job.
He still sounds like a surfer, dude, and it's so dumb. I hate him. I mean, it looks gorgeous. Like
it really does.
It looks great. It has that same thing that all of these kind of games have had, where it's the third person behind the shoulder combat.
Yeah.
It's the thing that made me not play Jump Force.
Yeah. My kid is very excited.
Yes. But in this case, it's really weird because while you're flying around with people, like let's say where you're Piccolo training with Gohan, or you're Goku flying around with Piccolo.
Ignoring his kids.
Yes, ignoring his kids, being a terrible father.
Yeah.
When you get into a fight, they do assist moves.
Oh, wow.
Name 2 fights in Dragon Ball that have ever been decided by multiple people fighting one person. I can tell you one fight where that happened.
That is one more than I would be able to.
It's Raditz.
Oh, yeah, okay.
It's Piccolo and Goku against Raditz.
It's true.
Every other fight in that, it's like, no. Don't get involved.
I've got this.
This is between me and them.
Yeah.
Don't you dare get involved, Kakarot. This is between me and Frieza.
This fight is personal.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They don't team up. Yet weirdly enough, when you're flying around the open world and these stupid robots from the Red Ribbon Army attack you, you sure can fire a Kamehameha and tell Piccolo to fire a special beam cannon at the same time.
Can I also say I really like how much the Red Ribbon Army is in this game, and they are not featured that much in Z.
Dude, this references Dragon Ball so much.
That's
one of the
cool.
first people you meet who you do a side story for is the Frankenstein's monster-looking android who's really friendly from Dragon Ball.
Wow. I saw the dinosaur from the Red Ribbon Army too. Like, there's some original Dragon Ball cuts in there.
Yeah, there's some deep cuts.
Yeah.
Right now, I literally just hit the point where I am at an intermission, as it's called in the game.
So AKA, a recap episode.
AKA, this is where we do the recap episode, followed by all the stupid side stories that nobody cares about, like, I don't know, learning how to drive.
That episode is still good. I don't care what anyone says.
So I've got all that stuff in front of me now. Like I said, I just finished basically the Saiyan arc of it.
Right.
So I've finished the Saiyan saga. Next, we all know, is the Namekian saga, and then the Frieza saga, and so on and so forth.
Yep.
So I'm at an intermission. So I now get to go and explore the vastly empty open world.
Oh boy.
Collect a whole bunch of gubbins to do stuff with the,
Fly
I don't
through
know,
some rings.
fly through some orb rings. Which, yes, it has orbs, so thank you, Crackdown, for your horrible, horrible influence.
Oh, man.
They don't make noise.
The one thing they have to do.
And they respawn.
Oh, how dare they?
Like, why?
Yeah.
Make them worth more and not respawn. Problem solved. Then I don't have to fly around like an idiot collecting the same.
I like that you have Sonic Ring Syndrome, where it's like no ring gets left behind.
No. And it's even better because there was small rings and the big rings.
Oh, no.
Fly through the small rings, get them all, great. Fly through the big rings, you get the half of it that you're on.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Kakarot.
Or stick an activation orb in the middle. The second you collect that one in the middle, it gives you the whole of them. That's fine.
Right.
Like, there is so much wrong with this game, and I still love it so much because I can literally just jump in, hit B a bunch, and then hit like L trigger and Y and fire a Kamehameha and kill people.
That's great.
I literally don't care.
Take out my frustrations.
I just want to do that, and then I want Gohan to turn into Teen Gohan to have probably my favorite moment in the entirety of the show, which is the father-son Kamehameha.
Yeah, that's dope.
I don't care what anybody says, that's the best moment in Dragon Ball Z.
Still
period.
Cool.
I want him to use that as a support item, because he can. If you're flying with him, you can tell him to use special abilities.
Yeah.
So I want him to do that. Also, they have team-up moves, which is called Z combos, where you literally, like when their super meter is filled and they're on your team, you hit both bumpers, and then they do this combo move where it's like punch, 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 fire, and then the other person catches them, punch, 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 fire, back the other way.
That's cool. Apologies to my kid in the background. I don't think she wants to take a nap or a
Probably
bath.
not. But like, it's so referential. It looks so cool. It's kind of awesome. It's kind of terrible. I'm feeling a little AP vibe coming on here, but don't hold me to that at the end of the year. Oh, I forgot to mention, by the way, about the whole. There's an encyclopedia. They don't call it that. They don't call it that. You're okay. I think it's called like the Dragon Ball Encyclopedia or something. They don't go as far as I went with it.
Have some punny fun with it.
But it's full of like notes and stuff like that, and like backstory, Dragon Ball, whatever. There's items, there's cooking. You can cook meals to increase your stats. There is.
So it really is an RPG.
There is a community hub.
Oh no.
Where it's literally a series of like symbols across the top based on specific specialties. So on the far left, the first one you unlock is a Z. And then next to that, there's like a muscle, an arm muscly thing.
Right.
And next to that, there's a plate with a knife and a fork on it. And then next to that, there's something else and something else. And then there's Kame's logo, and there's a spanner and a wrench and something else. These are communities.
Boy.
These communities have community leaders.
Oh no.
And the community leaders unlock that community for you to put soul pins onto the communities, and then you increase what happens. So for example, the little Z one, that's the Z fighters.
Yeah.
Their community leader is, as much as it shouldn't be because he's not fit to lead anything, Goku.
Right.
So then on his thing is a bunch of his pin is in the middle, and there's a bunch of little holes around him. And then
your sphere grid, if you will.
Your sphere grid, if you will. And then you unlock Gohan, and you plop Gohan next to Goku on one of these holes.
For the first time, they're sharing a room.
Yes. No, they're sharing a house for the first time, dude.
That's right.
And then the two pins connect with a little line, and it goes whoom, and it gives Goku like +4, and it gives Gohan +3. And then Goku says, and then Goku's like, you could be really strong if you trained, and Gohan's like, I don't know, because he's tiny Gohan, he's a little baby Gohan.
Right, nervous.
Baby. And then it pops up with this big screen and it says, the following perks are now in effect. A father-son team, and it's got a picture of Gohan, a picture of Goku. And then you start unlocking pins for everybody.
Oh no.
The leader of the cooking community is Bulma.
Okay.
Shocker.
Yeah.
The leader of the adventurer community is Yajirobe.
Awesome. I'm glad someone remembers him.
The god community leader is Kame.
Ooh,
And you put
Kame.
like yes, and you put like King Kai in there. You put
Mr. Popo.
Mr. Popo, the big dude with the
Yeah.
horns, whatever his name is.
Right.
You put King Yema, I think it is.
I think so.
Stick
Been a
him in
while.
there, but basically you take these people. Every soul pin has a maximum level cap for their things. So like, Goku is 25 maximum in Z Fighter. He's like 5 maximum in cooking. He is 25 maximum in training.
He's 100 in eating.
Yes, but like everyone's got their strengths, and then those strengths can affect the communities and how
Jesus.
But then you give the soul pins presents, and the soul pins leveled up, and you increase your friendship with those people.
Oh my god.
And it increases the effectiveness of that community. And then it's got like, if you get this community to level 5, you unlock 2% more damage in melee.
Right, okay.
You unlock 5% more damage. And each community has those effects. So the Z Fight is all about melee combat and stuff like that. The cooking one is all about finding and cooking ingredients. The adventuring one is about getting more Zenny. Then the God one is about gaining more XP and stuff like that. And it's just like, how many systems do you put in here?
Someone on the team had a good idea. We're putting it in.
Yeah. Except for, the part where you do anything other than the same Dragon Ball story that's been told over and over again. Goku is on the Snake Way. Why are you playing as Piccolo in a game called Kakarot?
Right. I want to run in the Snake Way and then fall off and then come back.
No sense whatsoever. Like I said, I'm loving this game and I'm hating this game all in one.
It sounds like it has some cool ideas, and then it's still a Dragon Ball Z game.
Yes. The one thing I will mention before I give up my seat for the rest of the week, there is battles in the open world. It's the Red Ribbon robots, because why not?
Yeah.
Whatever. You know how, well, number one, you can sense Kai, or sense Ki, or whatever, however you pronounce it. You can sense Ki by holding down the left bumper and looking around in first-person mode. It's like, there's a dinosaur, there's some apples, there's some fish.
Right.
There's an enemy over there, 300 yards away. He is level 2. I can tell that because I'm sensing his ki. So when you're flying around, you can do the boost fly, which, if you've watched Dragon Ball, you know what the boost fly is. They go from going to going and doing the sonic boom thing. If you're over leveled and you do the boost fly thing through one of these enemies, they literally die. It pops up with finish like it would at the end of a combat fight. And you just get the XP for it.
I like when games do that. Where you just like, I'm so powerful that my movement has obliterated them.
And I got an achievement for doing it.
Great. Even better.
You're not worth my time.
That's really good.
Yeah.
That's really good. Some good ideas.
It's really good and really bad at the same time.
I'm digging it.
I like this game and I hate this game at the same time. I'm not kidding. Like
it's an encapsulation of the Dragon Ball Z experience.
For fans of the Dragon Ball Z genre, maybe for you.
Yeah.
Oh, but yeah, that's all I've been playing. Over to you, Boston.
The only other thing I've been playing other than This Is the Police 2 is I'm still moving through SaGa, Scarlet, Grace, Ambitions. I finished the first part of what's Ataria's story. That's the lady I'm on now, the second character I'm playing. You do this sort of scavenger hunt sort of thing, and the end of it is a really cool and really difficult boss fight at the end of it. And what makes it cool is, like the final boss fight of the previous character story, it significantly changes stuff up. So, remember when I was talking about the Unity attack stuff and how your characters can do them, but the enemy can also do it? So you sort of have to be careful, like, don't kill an enemy between two enemies, because then they're going to gang up on you.
Yeah. You
have to do that in this fight. And what happens is you're fighting these basically fireballs, and it's really cool because you're really trying to manipulate and push your teammates, your characters away, and trying to mush the enemies together as much as you can to take one of them out so that they'll unity attack. What happens is when that happens, the boss absorbs those enemies. They don't actually attack. The boss absorbs enemies and sort of like overheats himself. And if you do that a whole bunch of times, the boss just leaves.
Interesting.
So it's this really cool idea where you're trying to manipulate the game into doing something you don't want to do to make the boss run away, because anytime you hit the boss, you do 0 damage. So you can't just overpower it. But yeah, this game is really great, and after that first chapter's over, you basically go back to your home base and you find out that you didn't resolve the problem. So the whole storyline of this is the Taria makes pottery, and she's unhappy. Something is she has some magic, and she's unhappy because something is interfering with her magic, and it's not making her pottery correctly. So now she has to go out and explore the world and find out what's messing with magic. And it's like this really great small storyline where it's like, yeah, that's kind of dumb, but all right, that's kind of what I love JRPGs for, where it's like, yeah, I can't make my pottery right, let's go.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be the end of the world every single time you hit a new game on anything.
Yeah, and like...
This is the police, really good examples of that.
That's right. I'm just going to manage one tiny little town. So it's kind of cool that you're stumbling into really important stuff just to fix your pottery. But I played a lot of This Is the Police 2 this week, so I didn't get a chance to play
honestly, you seem to have a problem right now with that thing.
Well, it's really good because it's a game that I can pause really easily. So, like, even if I'm in the middle of managing a day, I can pause it, I can take a break, I can deal with my kid where she's freaking out about something, and then I can kind of go back and listen to some more jazz music.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot about that as well. Like, I forgot about that until I hit start games like smooth jazz, and it's like,
yeah, that's the stuff. Yeah.
Give me that smooth jazz.
But that's all I've been playing this week, so let's take a break.
Yup. Your video is on my video on the stream, by the way.
Yeah, I know. I can't really fix it.
Drag it, move it all the way to the bottom of the window, and then you're fine.
I'm capturing that as well. So, like, if we do that...
Yeah.
I'm still there, too. Hi.
Wait, what?
I'm everywhere.
Is that honestly the bottom of the window? I would have thought you could go.
Beak says, hey guys, so I got Sekiro as a gift, and since it was voted Game of the Year, I thought I'd give it a go. WTF, I'm almost crying. Does it get easier, or should I just give up? Any tips?
It does not get easier from everything I understand. I have not played it. I want to play it. I like hard games, despite what We Roguelike It would have you think. Shut up, Boston.
If you're a patron, listen to We Roguelike It for this week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the genre that From Software makes is this game. The game will not let you.
The genre they make is fuck you, die. I mean, come on.
Right, and it's sort of like you can't just. I'm not saying half-ass it, but like you have to learn the game's mechanics, and you have to become proficient with them very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I've only played Demon Souls, and I put in my time. I served that genre, and I will never go back.
Yeah. I didn't. Yeah.
I bet there's a bunch of YouTube videos out there about like, here are some good beginner tips. Here are some things you should focus on. That's probably would be my recommendation: is go find some good like beginners tips videos on YouTube and see if there's something really early on that you can do that might get that ramp up much easier.
Mm-hmm.
What time is it? Oh, it's 4. We should do the next section.
I'm messing around with my video on my Skype, trying to figure out how I can hide your video on your Skype.
You can't. Sorry. Once Nimp is back, then I can resolve that. Until then, there's 2 of me.
Yep. One of them is right here.
That's right.
Mine's on a massive delay, so I'm gonna wait and see if I'm pointing correctly.
You are.
Close enough.
Yeah. All right, ready to wrap this up?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Let's get started in 3, 2, 1. This is the release... Nope. Start back over. Take 2, 3, 2, 1. Let's talk releases for the week of January 27th, 2020. Video games are coming out again. Kentucky Route Zero TV edition comes out for the Switch, PS4, and Xbox One. Finally, the 5th episode of Kentucky Route Zero is coming out.
Only 10 years after it was announced.
7, I think. I'm very, very excited to finally play this, because the recommendation has always been like, yeah, it's coming out episode by episode, but like, man, you can, like Life is Strange, you can just wait. It'll be out any day now. And then I've been waiting for a while, so I'm excited to play this sometime.
Act 1 came out on January 7th, 2013. Yeah, 7 years ago.
I thought it was 7 years, yeah. So it's coming out, and everyone really loves this game, so I'm really excited to check it out. Pillars of what's up? Yeah, Game Pass 1. Pillars of Eternity 2 Deadfire comes out PC, PS4, and Xbox One.
I know somebody who's going to be picking that up.
Yeah?
Nimb. Come on.
Yeah, it's true. Warcraft 3 Reforged comes out on PC and OS X. This is... I knew that they were remastering this, but I didn't really know how far they were going. Contains everything from Warcraft 3, its expansions, and then rebuilt models, update graphics, and 4K support.
Mm-hmm.
So, just like with StarCraft 1, it's sort of like, here we have updated it, it will be good for another 15 years.
I wonder if they're going to use that then to redo the original Dota. With all the new models and the 4K support and everything like that.
Yeah, who's that? Ice Frog?
Ice Frog,
yeah.
Well, he now works for Valve. Well, yeah, they now work for Valve, I should say, because nobody knows who that is.
That's right. Still, which is incredible.
Mm-hmm.
Coffee Talk comes out PC, Switch, PS4, and Xbox One. This is reminds me a lot of Valhalla. We were talking about sort of the new face of point-and-click adventure games. And this is that cool, like, NeoCab, where it's like, there's the trapping of you being a barista and doing a job, but it's mostly about interacting with these people and getting the orders right and, you know, kind of dealing with people time over time and day over day. So that game looks pretty cool. Coming out in early access, Cook Serve Delicious 3. This time you're working in a food truck making its way across a war-torn America.
Oh, so it's set in the future.
Yeah, you know, like next month. But this looks really great, and I like the idea that Cook Serve Delicious is still getting sequels, and they're just kind of leaning into it being really weird.
Yep.
Speaking of really weird, Avian Attorney Definitive Edition comes out on the Switch. So if you wanted to play Ace Attorney with birds, Avian Attorney is the game for you.
What was it? Hatero Boyfriend?
Hatful Boyfriend?
Yeah.
I still need to play that, because I know it's one of those games that it's like Doki Doki Literature Club. It's like, it's not what it looks like.
Mm-hmm.
So,
or like the game where you date tanks. That's exactly what it looks like.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to news stories. It's been a while since we've had a TVGP PSA. Final Fantasy VII Remake, Part 1. Pre-orders through the Square Enix store need to be confirmed unless you're in the European Union. So if you're in North America...
Hold on. What? They need to be confirmed?
Yeah, so Square Enix is weird, as we all know. And their store is really crazy in the best of times. So basically... Sounds like there was a problem with their store where, since the game isn't coming out in March 23rd, the day of games in 2020, you need to go before like February 28th, I think it is. They sent you an email with a button. Click the button to say, yes, I still want this game. If not, they're canceling your pre-order.
Okay. And this is for digital stores?
No, this is for the Square Enix store only.
Okay, so it's just Square being Square. Okay,
Yeah, it's
that's
Square
fine.
being Square. So if you have this pre-ordered, you haven't accepted it, please go do so. If you're in the EU, please read the email, because for a lot of people, clicking the button cancels your pre-order. Because it's Square!
So what I'm learning from this is people in Europe grew up playing Japanese import games where it was circle to confirm, and people in
Right.
America grew up playing American where it was X to confirm.
That's right. Yep.
Hashtag
times.
Square.
Yeah, I just... Square being Square. Next news story, Disney is selling off the Marvel Strike Force developer Fox Next. This is...
I didn't know they owned them. Number one.
They owned them because 20th Century Fox owned them. So, through the transitive property, now Disney owns everybody.
This is also relevant to my interests, so please.
Yeah, and
do tell.
that's why I wanted to talk about it on the show, because Marvel Strike Force said that last year, in its first year of release, they made $150 million in microtransaction revenue, which is a lot. And I'm sort of surprised that Disney would want to get rid of that, although they're kind of slashing and burning Fox in general.
I think the thing with this is you got to look at this multiple ways. Like, it's something similar to when two big companies meet. You don't need two accounting departments. You don't need two whatever. And I think...
You don't need 13 Marvel fighting games.
Exactly. You don't need 13 studios who make Marvel mobile games.
Right.
When you sell this company, you have every right to say, we will take 50% of your earnings because you are using our licenses.
Right. Yeah, and probably the other reason is Fox Next is working on a massively multiplayer strategy game based on the Avatar franchise. So I wonder if Disney is sort of saying, like, we don't want any part of that. So you can...
We own Avatar now, but oh boy, do we not care about it in the slightest.
Yeah, because Avengers is doing really well. So yeah, sort of surprising. It seems like one of those decisions where it's like, obviously we don't run any sort of game development or game publishing place, but it seems on the outside like it's one of those products that just kind of makes you money in the background, and you just let them do what they're doing already, because they had a very successful first year.
Yeah, there's a reason Activision bought King.
Right. And it's like you just kind of let them continue doing what they're doing. But I guess not. That's one of 2020's most surprising stories so far. And let's wrap this up with our weekly next-gen console check-in.
No, move on.
What have we learned about this week on new consoles? The back ports of an Xbox One are out, and it looks like the back ports of a console. Moving on to our next segment, questions. T-Bomb Rocks in Discord says, with the rumor that Xbox is looking to have a superhero game exclusive on the Xbox Series X, has me thinking, take a tangential break, the completely unfounded NeoGAF of all places rumor this week has been Microsoft is looking to get a Superman game as an Xbox Series X exclusive with no developer or publisher attached to it. So, again, take with a mountain of salt that anyone is, number one, making a Superman game.
That was going to be my main point.
Right, and number two, that it isn't Rocksteady.
Yeah. Who wants to? Who would even care? The only people who've made anything even close to Superman good is the Mortal Kombat crew.
Yeah, with Injustice.
Yeah.
And the everyone seems to think that this is a rumor with substance because Marvel's Spider-Man did really well on PS4, but that was an Insomniac game. Like, if Rocksteady came out and said, like, hey, we're making a Superman game, it's like, okay, cool, you have my attention. Like, that, I'm cautiously optimistic about what this means, but with thin rumors like this, and I don't think Microsoft would be that dumb.
No.
Like, I don't think Microsoft would be like, here's our next big franchise, Superman. It's like,
no. Give it to Ninja Theory and give me a Blade game.
There you go. Yeah. What superhero that's never been in a video game before would you like to have their own game? Hey, there you go.
Let me tell you about Blade. No, he had a game. It was hot garbage. Let me tell you about the Punisher. Oh, wait, no, he had 4 games and 3 of them were hot garbage.
I'm surprised there hasn't been like a... I wish 4-player co-op games have performed better at really any point, because you could probably make a cool, like, Fantastic Four 4-player co-op where you have to combine your skills to get through.
The game existed. It was on the 360. It was hot garbage.
Well,
it was a movie license game.
Well, there we go.
Yep, there we go. I mean, Moo was always great.
We've been talking a lot about Arrow. Can you make like a cool Tomb Raider skin? Like an Arrow Tomb Raider skin?
You know, I'd actually...
You're surviving on the island! I got it!
The first game could be the island, the second game could be a city, and the third game would be the introduction of the rest of the universe.
We got it. Hi, Microsoft. This is your in. You make an Arrowverse series of games, hire us. TVGPfans@gmail.com. You can contact us. Yeah.
I think the thing is like, the problem is you pick any superhero, the majority of them are gods. When you get right down to it. Like, that's why Batman works so well, is because that's a dude. And
he's got a lot of gadgets.
In the Rocksteady games, if you take too many hits too quickly, and by too many I mean like 4, you're done.
Yeah.
Like, it's real easy to die as Batman, but you can't make a good Wonder Woman game. You can't make a good
That was giving me my example.
Game.
It's like, what type of game are you making out of Wonder Woman? Like, yeah.
And don't get me wrong, the new guitar riff for Wonder Woman is incredible, and she is amazing in everything I've seen her in.
Yep.
She has the best scenes in Justice League. Like,
oh yeah.
Go watch on YouTube the Wonder Woman. Even if you're not a fan of DC movies, go watch her introduction in the Justice League movie. It's one of my favorite 4 minutes of cinema ever.
Okay.
It's so good.
Yeah, I if you want to make like a super popular thing, let's just make a battle royale for DC characters, and 100 random DC characters all drop into an island, and you get to play as Calendar Man.
Dude, they made that. It's called DCUO.
That's true. That poor game. That was a cool game.
It was a cool game. Okay, so a superhero who's not really been in a game. I'm going to take
Excuse me for She-Hulk in the background.
I'm going to take Ultimate Alliance out of this. Because you can't really call that being in a game. Honestly, I'd love to see someone take a crack at and somehow nail a Flash game. How do you make that game? Because, like it or not, the Flash is the most powerful superhero in the universe. He is more powerful than Superman. I don't care what anybody says.
He's got time travel, man.
He's got time travel, and he can run so quickly you have no idea.
Yeah.
How do you make that into a good game?
I think
do you do the origin story and like how he develops and trains
faster over time? I think you make an homage to Nobody Can Stop Mr. Domino. He's always running. You just gotta manipulate the play field to get him through the obstacles.
Quap starring the Flash.
Perfect. Why not?
How do you run?
Cannibalt, automatic runner.
That would actually be really good to do it. A Flash auto runner would be cool.
Yep. Maybe that's what Meat and Boy Forever will be when it comes out, sometime this year, allegedly.
Yeah. Actually, I'm gonna shout out to my wife's favorite comic book people here. Mm-hmm. Give me a good video game based on the Runaways.
Yeah, that could be cool. Here, you could do like a modern adventure game based on that.
Like, think of something like GTA 5. Big open world, switch between the characters. Each character have got their own special skills, their own locations, their own home bases.
Yeah.
Like, that would be a cool concept to try and intertwine that story together.
Yeah.
And then everyone has such unique abilities in that comic. It'd be really interesting to see them try and pull something like that off.
Yeah, that would be... I like that. That would be pretty cool. Next question here from T-Bomb Rocks. Need for Speed Heat is getting time-saver microtransactions in the next update.
Shocker.
So apparently Need for Speed Heat is pretty cool. And I hope that they don't poop it up with a bunch of DLC.
They will.
I know.
No, they are introducing time saver microtransactions while also tweaking everything else to take longer. I give you Metal Gear Solid 5. I mean, there's no proof of that right now.
Sure, but I mean, it's the next step.
I give you Metal Gear Solid 5. When the online side of that suddenly hit, and all of a sudden everybody, if they were not connected to the internet, lost 75% of the stuff that they had collected.
That was so bad. That was genuinely really bad.
Mm-hmm.
What real life time saver would you like to have in your life?
Super speed.
Yeah. Can I buy DLC that just my kid can get potty trained without me having to do anything? Because I'm really sick of fighting that fight. Yeah, I do.
Where you give them the book to read and then they learn the skill point from it.
Oh, now I know how to use the potty. And I was like, great, thank you. I
mean, that would be cool. Like, I realize
Kung Fu.
that is how this stuff works. You read a book and you learn something. I understand that if I wanted to learn coding, I would need to read a couple of books.
Yeah.
I'm talking about...
But I want to read one book for 5 minutes.
And then know everything there is to know
Put
about
the cartridge into the Matrix, and now I know French.
I mean, I'd love super speed just because you get so much done.
Yeah.
House is clean, done. I can play video games now. Yay!
Hooray!
I mean, that would be the number one. Would be basically skill books.
Yeah.
Where it's you want to know something. Here is a book. You literally sit down, you flip the pages like you do in a video game, and then you know it.
Now I can fix my fridge. It's like, all right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that would be the best. That's the catch-all where it's like, I read this book. Now I can fix motorcycles. I did it. Now I have to buy a motorcycle so I can fix it. Jet Ice 182 in Discord says, out of all your gaming achievements, what is your greatest accomplishment?
Are we talking legit achievements or just general achievements?
It's gotta be the Isaac 1001%.
Platinum God, yeah.
Yep.
That's probably up there for me, if I'm honest. Because that one was tough.
It's a trial. It is.
Yeah, it is. I mean, there's that.
I'm trying to think of anything. I got my True Trophies thing up here, trying to see if there's anything that's was really difficult. So many of these are just
JRPGs
platinum trophies, where it's like you got the platinum, so it's or it's like Enter the Gungeon, the Lead God trophy, where you collect 5 master rounds in one run. That was so basically you have to flawless all 5 bosses in one run, and that was incredibly difficult.
Yeah, I mean, most of ours will probably be roguelikes. I mean, one that I think is pretty cool and I'm not proud of is NBA Live 15. We've somehow managed to get every single game, has got every single achievement in that game.
Yeah,
32 people have completed that game on True Achievements. 32, and I am one of them. Like, that's insane.
I'm trying to think if there's any difficulty-based ones where it's like we finished Mass Effect 2 on insane difficulty.
Yeah, I beat Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3 on insane. So
yeah, I'm trying to think if there's.
I don't know if you know Boston, but that's what I do.
Oh, I'm well aware. That's sort of what prompted me. Is sort of like what difficulty-based things have we done that we're really proud of? I finished Kingdom Hearts 2 on the hardest difficulty back on PS2.
Yeah, proud mode was always a nightmare.
Yeah, I didn't do it on critical, which I'm not crazy.
Didn't Mina do that for all of them and wanted to kill herself halfway through it?
She believed her chat when chat is like, you're only supposed to play it on proud mode. Like you're not playing the real game if you're not playing on proud mode. And she believed them and played through Kingdom Hearts 1 for the first time on proud mode.
Oh, Mina, you sweet summer child.
I know. I think she unfortunately learned her lesson by having a crucible. Basically.
Yes. I mean, this is dumb as well. I'm kind of proud of the fact that I managed to get at least one achievement a day for 436 days straight.
That's a lot.
That's my best achievement streak, and literally the second I hit a year, I was like, cool, I hit a year.
Yeah.
How long can I keep going?
Right.
It was literally only stopped because I went out drinking with a bunch of buddies from work.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, there's a whole bunch of that. I'm not gonna lie, I do get a little tickle in my brain pan every time someone, like, the first time I play a game with somebody or something. I just, like, especially people not associated with the show, just like the randoms, the one night stands, as my wife likes to call them.
Yes.
And like you'll stomp somebody in Dead by Daylight, and you'll just get a message being like GG, and then 2 seconds later, like, oh my god, your game is going. It's just like,
right.
I know, dude.
That's me.
You don't have to tell me.
Yeah.
I know.
Mechanical Beacon Chat has a question. Are you guys looking forward to a new Fable, and does it matter that Peter Molyneux isn't a part of it?
If he is not a part of it, I'm looking forward to it more.
Yeah, I think that's kind of a selling point nowadays. Like, I'm kind of excited for a new Fable. As much as I really don't like that series, I think
you're a fool.
There's been enough time, and I think you could make a really cool Fable 4 nowadays. I think making a smaller scale open world game, almost like, I think if you almost make it like a Yakuza game, I think you could kind of make a Fable game really cool, where you just
embrace the crazy.
Well, you embrace the crazy, and I think instead of getting this big open world, I think you focus on the city you're in, whether you're running it or not, and you focus on that and all the people in town and all your interactions with them, and you of course go out to dungeons and do all that stuff, but I think focusing on a smaller thing and making it into more of an RPG than an action game with RPG elements, I think it can do really well.
I mean, I don't know how Yakuza got so good, considering they're basically just like text adventures with brawling sections, essentially.
It's the same town too, for now 8 games. It's that one Judgment. It takes place in the same area, and it's every time you're back in Kamurocho, you're like, "Yep, I'm back. Let's do this. I'm excited. I'm pumped. I know where all these cities are." And I think you could make Fable into the same thing, where it's like, oh, I'm back in my town, like I'm doing this thing, I'm running a town, or I'm trying to become a landlord in this town or something. And I think that's what you focus on in Fable, because I don't think you go toe to toe with like The Witcher. I don't think that's where you become successful. I think you do something totally different.
Yeah.
But yeah, like make Fable 4. Like, let's see what that's gonna have. That be a Series X game, and let's see what that can be. I wonder if that's why the delay is happening.
I think they're gonna try and make sure it's as highly optimized for the X as possible.
Yeah, because that's still Playground Games, if the rumors are to be believed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I bet if you're gonna bring back Fable, I think that's something you bring back in like the first year of the Series X, where it's like, all right, Halo, you're playing the multiplayer, you got that, you got all this other Game Pass stuff. Fable's back, back, and you get to play it on both consoles, whatever. But man, look at the trees and the light coming through the God rays on the Xbox, the Series X.
Yeah,
we're available for marketing support, Microsoft.
100%. Real quick rewind onto the achievement question again.
Sure.
I totally forgot to mention the Splinter Cell games way back when on the OG Xbox.
Yeah.
The fun achievements on that side of thing was playing that with my dad, and we would literally do challenges, like homemade challenges for each other to see who could do what better.
Yeah.
And he went through the entire game and fired 3 bullets.
Wow.
And I went through the entire game and fired 2.
Yeah, there it is.
And it was literally just this throwdown of who's going to do what. You know, you've got to do this without firing, without shooting, without doing anything, stuff like that.
Just hold up 2 fingers and be like, I did it.
I did it twice.
Yeah. Also, speaking of achievements, you see in the news story this week that FTL is finally getting Steam achievements.
I know, and they're going to try. That's actually on Game Pass, I think.
It is, yeah. Game Pass.
And he's going to try and put the achievements in that too.
Cool.
Nope, I don't need that, thank you.
Well, the game already had in-game achievements, so like it's just now they're just Steam achievements too. So FTL is really great. If you haven't played it, go play FTL. That's great. And then go play Into the Breach because I kind of think it's better. All right, that's our episode this week. Thank you so much, everyone, for listening. TVGP.tv is where you can visit us. Everywhere to find and follow us on the right-hand side of the page. Patreon.com/E1M1, the ones are numbers. As we talked about, brand new episode of Old Dog New Flicks coming out this week. And if you're not yet a $5 a month subscriber, that's the best tier. And you get everything we do. Anything above and beyond that is just greatly appreciated.
That
you
was
get a
literally
message
a bunch
from
of
me.
gibberish that came out of your mouth then, by the way.
And if you sign up, you get a specialized message from me as a thanks. Game Club, as we talked about a lot in this episode, we have a lot to say about This Is the Police 2. Come join us, play it, hang out in the Discord server. There's a channel for Game Club. There are a lot of strats you can share and funny screenshots to share and talk about, hey, I made this choice, and then whoops, everything went wrong.
Yep.
We roguelike it. If you're a patron, we just did our most recent ranking episode. We announced the next game that we're going to be playing. I think that's it. So we'll see you all next week.
Bye. And literally, Louise just meowed right outside the door as well. So
My nose is so itchy. Okay, hit me with your titles.
Literally hit you because I'm a bit far away for that.
No, thank you. Just mail me a piece of paper. I'll smack myself in the face with it.
Okay. Well, considering I write everything down on my tablet now.
Well, I don't want you to send
Ooh, a tablet.
Ooh, a tablet. No.
Okay. I guess I'll just wiggle. A little delayed. I don't like this game. Games have evolved. It's the 2020s. A long string of beeps. I tried an old genre. The police will remember that. Framps. I keep getting framped. Home for Infinite Losers. Just to fix your pottery. Game where you date tanks and square being square.
I have How Soft is the Cat? I guess I'll just wiggle. Your Sphere Grid, if you will. A long string of beeps, and the police will remember that. I guess I'll just wiggle is the one I've put a check mark next to. I think that's the one that tickles me the most.
Yeah.
The police will remember that, I think, is a good one, but I think we've done a title like that before. I think every video game podcast has at least one of those titles by law.
They remember that titles?
Yeah.
Well then.
I can reference the tool that the Hannah made for titles.
What? Really?
Yeah. He's been working on it. I've been beta testing it. It's pretty cool. Yeah, it doesn't look like it's firing up. Sorry, Hannah. I would still vote for, I guess I'll just wiggle.
Yeah, that's probably going to be mine, too.
Here we go. Remember. Groot will remember that, episode 511.
There you go.
There you go. Okay, I'm voting for, I guess I'll just wiggle.
Yep, sounds good to me.
Circle in, let me know when you're ready.
Highlighted it. I don't suppose Don't Stop Moving singing Don't Stop Moving Baby is appropriate?
I guess probably.
I'm assuming you haven't heard that song.
No, I don't think so.
Okay, it's not appropriate. Let me just tell you that right now.
Okay.
It's not.
If it isn't in an episode of Paw Patrol, I haven't heard it.
Oh, so good to know Tool are getting their appropriate recognition in Paw Patrol.
That's right. Maynard James Keenan is joining as one of the Paw Patrol.
MJK is kind of a good dog name.
That's true.
Okay, let's go. I got nothing, but let's go.
All right. Starting in 3, 2, 1. This is That Video Game Podcast, episode 640 for January 27th, 2020. I guess I'll just wiggle?
Another broken controller.
Alright, thank you very much, everyone, for listening and watching. That is our episode. We appreciate you. You're our favorite, and we'll see you next week.